Big award today. Tell me about receiving that award.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I love that award because it means that you've done something for St. Joe that not a lot of people get to be honored in that ring, and it's a privilege that I was in it. You know, I thank Tino Villarreal and the alumni and the committee that voted me in. I really appreciate it. It's a great honor to be in this Ring of Honor. There's not too many of us.
Talk to me about the history of St. Joe and the transformation. Talk to me about the difference now compared to when you first got involved with St. Joe Athletics.
When I started in '80, it was more run-oriented and hard-nosed defense. Now we scheme and we use their weaknesses for our strength. You know, like for example, we can't run the ball. Then Tino Villarreal will come up with a system where we'll pass the ball a lot. And if they have good secondary, then we'll run the ball. We use their weakness to our advantage now. Where before it was just, we're going to run it, and that was it. You know, let's go. You know,
you had teams adjusting to you more so than you're going to adjust to another team. You're going to do what you do right.
Yes, I'll adjust to whatever system's going to work for the kids. That's a lot of coaches want to do what they know, but a good coach is going to do what's best for the kids. That's what I've learned through the years.
Let's go back even further as a player. You know, talk to me about a memory of maybe your favorite game. What stands out about that?
We played Houston Marion semifinals. They're undefeated. They were 10-0, and we weren't even supposed to have a chance. But Coach Peña, legendary Joe Peña, came up with a great system. We got 2-yard splits. They played a straight 5-2. We just ran the ball inside. He goes, the second half, they're going to adjust. We're going to start running sweeps. He was so right, and we ended up beating them. And we played our state title here at St. Joe in 1980 at St. Joe Canales Field, and we beat St. Joe Victoria for the title.
Talk to me about what that meant coming here and playing a state championship game. Everyone talks about 61 Donna. That's a state championship.
Yeah.
Now, you guys won some since then. Talk about that game.
Yeah, we won in 1980 here. We were the underdogs again, but Coach Peña always knew a way to motivate us, you know. Let's go out there and prove the world, prove them wrong. We only had 26 players on the team, and so it was Ironman football. You know, we played offense and defense, and we got after it. I mean, we played with pride, and we wanted to defend our field, which not a lot of people can say because this is our field. We don't rent a field. This is our field. This is our turf. Our field, our turf, where we play.
So when you talk, I talk about it during our broadcast that this is one of the tougher places to win.
Yes.
That's tradition. That's not just the last couple of years. That's been for a long time coming.
Tradition. Yeah. Last year, you know, we had an okay team, but at home, we never lost. You know, on the road we weren't that good, but at home, we learned. St. Joseph Academy has always been defend your turf, fighting bloodhounds, and that's what we do. We fight for our turf. We fight for our field.
Looking back at those teams you played, I know now, like this is the last regular season game tomorrow night for the Bloodhounds, and then they're back here at home in a playoff game. But to define playoffs for St. Joe Academy, I've talked about it the last couple of years. UIL is one thing. You get just round one, round two. About round three, you really run into the tough teams. But at St. Joe, it's round one.
Round one.
Has it always been like that?
Yes, it's always been like that. Not only that, even in our district, we have tough teams. You know, a lot of people don't understand the teams that we play from Austin St. Michael's, Regents. They're very good. They're solid teams. They could be some of the Valley teams. Honestly, they're that good.
And the athletes are all. I'm always talking about during a broadcast of a playoff game that you're going to see some Division I athletes out here.
Oh yeah.
Did you have to go against Division I athletes way back in the 80s?
Yes. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we did. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yes, sir. We did. Houston Marion had a great running back. He was averaging like 1,800. He had 1,800 yards in 10 games. So he was a fantastic running back. You know, Coach Peña again came up with a scheme, wide ends, make him run inside because he liked going outside. So we kind of funneled him to the middle, and you know we were able to stop him.
These coaches these days have a ton of film that they can study and isolate and look at plays and formations. Tell me about the difference in looking at film back then in the 80s. Because it wasn't as easy as clicking on the internet.
No, back then it was more adjustments on the sidelines.
During the game.
During the game. So that's one thing that Tino Vergara is very good at. Adjustments. We adjust. We see that we can't run. They have a very good defensive end. We'll stay away from him, or we won't block him, and make him decide what he has to do. So it's different now. Before it was just, you got to move him. Now we use their strength to our advantage. So it's changed, especially in the last 5 years. It's changed so much. The technology and the film and everything else.
But back then, as a coach, you had to be paying attention to that first quarter. Here's what they're doing. Here's what they're doing. Halftime adjustments meant real adjustments.
Perfect example. A couple weeks ago, we're playing St. Michael's. We were down 28-3. Halftime.
I remember that game.
We came back and won it, 29-28. That's coaching. That's adjustments. That's what it's about, And a lot of coaches don't get that. They don't understand that. We have a very good staff, here at St. Joe. Sammy Lucio does a great job. Drew, the defensive coordinator, does a job. Soto, Tino Vergara oversees everything. And I just kind of try to help both sides of the ball and just kind of do what I can and help out.
Talk about the atmosphere around the players that are coming around. I know tradition is deep here at St. Joe Academy, and you're also looking at players that their dad played here, their relatives played here, but they don't feel like they're entitled. Other schools, we talked about it yesterday during a show, that a lot of the other schools that we're seeing almost look like players are playing now thinking they're entitled. I put the uniform on, I'm okay. That doesn't happen here at St. Joe often.
No. Kids here play for the red and white. They play for the red and white, and they play to defend that field. That's why it says on the field house, fighting bloodhounds. Coach Tino tells them all the time, we're the fighting bloodhounds, and we'll fight to the very end. And that's our tradition. That's what we do. We fight.
Is it normal for St. Joe Academy to look at themselves and say, it's okay to be the underdog? Because in most cases you are.
We are. Yeah, we're the smaller school in our district. Whoever we play, we're always a smaller school. We played veterans this year. Big 6A school.
Yep.
We lost 28-40. There's other teams that lost 60-0 to them, 70-0. But we fought. We adjusted and we played them. And the coach said, "You guys did a great job." Veterans are a very good program, but we need to play teams like that to make us better for our playoffs.
Yeah, they put a 70 on Harlingen South last week. I did that game. I did the Brownsville Veterans game here. And in that game, I looked at that. I knew coming in, that's a physical football team that lines it up between the tackles. They're going to make you work all night long just because of the fact they're going to hit you every single play.
Right.
But a couple of plays in that football game, some big plays that were capable of being pulled off. You guys were right there for the taking. How did your kids learn from a game like this? Because immediately you switched gears and started winning some district games right after that.
Well, that helped us to realize that we can play with anybody. We can play with veterans from Brownsville. We can play with anybody, period. Because they're a good program. So our kids did real well against them. We're very proud of them.
I look at games often and I tell people, you know what? 10 out of 10 times a certain team will beat another team. I look at that game and I say, you know what? Script that out. 6-4. It could even be 5-5. Those two teams play each time again 10 times, and that's what you got to like. Talk to me about the history as far as some of your favorite players as a coach that you remember on that field.
Oh, man, there's so many.
Let's talk about Tino first. He played for you?
Tino played for me, yes.
Talk to me about Tino Villarreal as a player.
It was funny because we had to play it's called counter. We block down the guard and tackle pool, and Matt Langdecker, we get the ball, our running back. And everybody, they're running the counter. And I would tell them, yeah, but you still got to stop it. Tino did a great job pulling and just creating holes for Langdecker to run through. It's one thing them knowing about it, but you still got to stop it. And he did a great job when he played offensive line. He did a great job.
Did you know at that time, any idea that, hey, that one day he could be a coach?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What stood out there that made you? Because I know you can see it. A lot of times you can see it.
He's very knowledgeable. He's very smart. And a lot of our players, see, that's the advantage we have. that our kids are very smart. We can teach them a system in a week. Like say we run a 4-3, and we play veterans. Well, we jump into a 6-2. That's a different scheme. You got to teach them, and our kids pick it up because they're intelligent. Dino was very smart back then. He knew all the blocking assignments. He would make all the calls on the offensive line. I mean, it's just one of those. You can see it that they're knowledgeable.
Kai Money came rolling through here and put up all those numbers. Talk to me about the Kai Moneys before Kai Money got here. Were there any that was like a Kai Money playing on that field?
Not at a quarterback position.
Okay.
Running back. Well, we had Santana, our quarterback, that played with Tino. Excellent athlete, but he was more of a passer. And then he ran a little bit of the option. So but Money was at another level. That kid was something else, man. I mean, that was amazing the way he played. That amazing. He was it goes back to we were running a play called Cheetos.
Okay.
The quarterback reads the end. If the end turns his hips in, he keeps it. Turns his shoulder, he keeps it. So Money would make those guys just standing. You will see in the film, kids just standing there trying to figure out who to get. And kid was gone. Amazing athlete.
Not many can you look at a quarterback and say, here's what I want you to do, read the defender, and trust that that'll happen as a high school player.
He did it. Oh, yeah, he did it. Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Again, talk to me about what you feel after that state championship game. Now, maybe in the last 10 years, what was the biggest game you witnessed here? You witnessed them all, as far as I'm concerned, for 40 years.
40 years. We beat Central, which we hadn't done in a long time here. They had a D1 quarterback.
Okay.
6'3", 210, 15, great kid. But we ran a 4-1 on him. And we would scheme blitz and turn. And so we did something different because they had a big line. So we use our quickness to go inside and outside to make the big boys have to move. So we used that to our advantage, and we were able to beat them. It was a big upset.
You know, Coach, many times people ask me, hey, Joe, you've been doing this since you graduated high school in 1981. So how are you still involved in broadcasting games? I give them the same answer that I think you would give me as a coach. Coach,
it's not work.
How is it that you can't give it up after 40 years? It's just too good, right?
Too good. I love it. It's not work. If you enjoy it and it's your passion, it's not work. I've never worked a day in my life here because I enjoy it. It's not work. I love it. And I love when our girl athletes and boy athletes just win. I just love to see the faces of the other people just looking at our kids like, wow, little Brownsville St. Joe's won it, you know. It's a great feeling.
Final question. I know I've kept you here a long time. Final question. I know you're not as a head coach, but do you still get those butterflies every game right before it starts and that energy that says, I still want to win this game?
Yes, I still get nervous. I get nervous for my players. I'm tough on them because I'm afraid of them getting hurt. So I kind of push them to be tough so that they don't get hurt. A lot of people, understand that. Some don't, but the players understand that I'm trying to keep them safe. Because when you soften up, a lot of times that's when you get hurt.
Got it. Coach, again, appreciate the interview. Ring of Honor. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.